So hello, my name is Collette, and I identify first as a unique work of art as a human, just like every single one of you. And then I would identify as a female and a daughter, a little sister, an auntie, and a niece and family member and best friend and colleague. Um, I am a teacher and I am a Newfoundlander. But as like all Newfoundlanders, the natives here were Beothuk, so I came from England. This is where my ancestry comes from. My career, first and foremost, is as an instructor, but I have a science background. So what I teach to adults, I teach at a college, and I teach Microsoft software. So I use the technology part of the STEM when I am in my career. And I don't use any specialized equipment. I just need a computer and play around with software. And I teach how to use the operating system, and I teach all the Microsoft applications. You might be familiar with Word or PowerPoint. So those are my specializations. So the role that I have as a Microsoft instructor definitely offers me room to grow, because when you work with technology, there's always something new. So you can always certify yourself higher, or you can always learn something new to teach people. So as long as I'm teaching technology, I will always be able to do more certifications to teach more things. And as an instructor, I have a teaching background as well. I did education and I substitute taught grades K to 12 as well. So with my career as an instructor, it's kind of like a springboard to go into a bunch of different other careers as well. I could go back to teaching technology in school. I could stay where I am. I could, with my science in my background, I could teach science in schools. Or if I wanted to pursue more education, I could become a professor in a university rather than an instructor at a college. Yes, they definitely would. The similarities, I'll start with those because it seems like there's lots more of those. But the similarities would be lots of energy, positivity, dependable, and excited. I'm very happy when I come to work because I love what I do and I love teaching students and helping them. And obviously, I'm very happy when I see my friends. But I think the difference would be that my friends know my vulnerabilities in a different way than my colleagues do. So when I started working at my place of work now, I still am and was then the newest and youngest instructor on staff. So I began working in my 20s as a college instructor, and I was in a place of growth. So I really needed to get advice and help from everybody around me. So my colleagues have seen a different side of me when it comes to vulnerability. So I think they would probably say I'm a quick learner, and I'm a lover of knowledge. Everything that they say to me, I ask how, why, why does that work? Why do we do this? Why does I'm in a place of growth at my workplace, so it's a different side of vulnerability that they see me there. And also, my friends would not see my professional side. So at work, I'm a little bit more reserved, and I am the figure of authority in the classroom. So positive, but reserved and professional is probably a different trait that my friends don't see. I got to where I am today from a very much from a perspective of, say, a roller coaster. When I was in grade school, I first in grade 6 thought I was going to be a flight attendant because I went and did French immersion in grade 7, the late French immersion program. And I wanted to become bilingual so I could be a flight attendant. And my mother assumed I would be a lawyer. To this day, she still thinks I should be a lawyer. But then I went and got in grade 9, and I really liked my science teacher. So, excuse me, I ended up appealing to all my science background and enjoying the science and science camps. And then I went to university, not university, sorry, I went to high school, And in high school, I could not get a handle on chemistry, but I chose to go into engineering anyway. So I really liked math. I was really good at math, but I was also very good at English. I would write stories. I actually consider myself an amateur writer as well. So I figured I would do petroleum engineering technology. So right off the cuff, I think I applied for it in December, and the deadline was December. So I got into that, and my hockey coach, because I was a goalie in high school, my hockey coach thought that I should apply for university anyway, just in case, because this petroleum program was at Kona, a college. So he brought me in town when we were in for a hockey tournament, got me to go to the university and drop off an application from there as well. So I was applied for both, I was accepted for both, and I chose to do the science background, petroleum engineering technology. So I did that, and I completed that diploma in 3 years. And then I worked in the industry, and that was about 10 years ago, and realized that I didn't like working in the industry as much as I thought I would, but I still love the science aspect. So I ended up saying, I'm going to teach it. So then started my journey to become a college instructor, and I am now a college instructor. It took me a little while to get here. I did a Bachelor of Education, and then I did my post-secondary instructor certificate on top of that, and I substitute taught for a few years, and now I finally have my college job. I'm not teaching the petroleum like I thought I would, but that will come later. This is just my first instructor job. But my career has been a series of different jobs and a lot of academic upgrading and focusing and narrowing in on what it was that I wanted and using the tools that I had to get where I wanted to go. What makes my career path meaningful is that I am helping people. That is first and foremost what I want to do. I I I have a career as a teacher and instructor, and I have to say it is the most fulfilling role that I have had in my career so far. I have had lots of side jobs where I've been a museum interpreter. I have been working in customer service, in retail. I have been an office manager before. I have worked on office administration, multiple office administration jobs before. I've been a teacher. I've been an inclusion counselor, day camp counselors, a lot of different roles, and I found that the one that I like the most is to be helpful in um, helping people get where they're going. So with adults, they're looking to have a career. So that is what makes my career so meaningful now, and it's what drives me to go to work every day and stay positive and happy, is to know that I am helping them get where they need to go. And especially as a teacher as well, when I taught grades 7 through 12, a lot of students would come to me asking about my career path, and I felt like I was helping them more than as a teacher, being a mentor for where they could see themselves, because ultimately they have to grow as well. So if I could help be a guide for them, then I would say that is a very successful day. Some of my biggest accomplishments have been where I have taken the initiative to help others in a role that wasn't in my career. So an example of this would be as a mentor with WRDC. I really would like to be a role model for students that would like to get into STEM careers, and I'm up for conversation if anybody wants to have a conversation with me about my career path and any guidance or advice. I was a teacher before. Some of my students may see this and know me as Miss Garland, but I'm definitely available for conversation about that. And on the side from that, some of the biggest accomplishments I've had is to create resources for people who I find need more help. So with substitute teaching, I found that there was a lack of information, flow of information. So as much as there's a Facebook group, I created a website as well to help. It's like a forum so that substitute teachers can gather and talk about their experiences and share resources and understand things like their NLTA, their union, the EI, all these things that you don't necessarily learn when you're going to school to be a teacher. So there's the practical aspects of a career. So I like to I would like to continue working on that and create more resources for gaps where I see them as I go throughout my life, I just like to be of help and of service. So those would be, I would say would be my biggest accomplishments is when I am of best service to other people. Oh, advice I would give young girls considering a similar career path is to follow your passion. If you like science, dig into it, research it, read some books on it, ask your science teacher. That's what I did. So earlier I mentioned that I wanted to be a flight attendant because I'm very social and I would have loved to travel the world. And when I got to grade 9, I was taken with science. So what really stimulated my growth in the science was to talk to my teacher. So I talked to my science teacher, and he loved his job. So he was able to give me a lot of resources, and I ended up going to a science camp for that summer. I took a full week out of my summer, and I went to MUN, and I did a science camp, and we stayed at residence, and it was amazing. I met so many like-minded people all around the province and had great people who were our mentors and guides and volunteers. I learned so much about MUN and Marine Institute and college and the offerings that they had there, which helped me to shape what I would want to be and do in the future. But I also got a lot of pushback from my friends for going to science camp for the summer. Everybody was asking me to come out here and come there, and I gotta say, sometimes when you show a strong passion or interest in things, your friends might push back because they don't really understand it. So another piece of advice I would say is to stay true to yourself and what you want to do, because even though I got that pushback then, I still kept with science and I loved it and I pursued it. And now when I tell my same friends that gave me pushbacks back then, they're like, "Oh my God, that's so cool. I wish I would have done the same thing." So just stay true to who you are. Don't bend. I mean, you know, this is how you learn. But definitely, if you're interested in something, ask questions. Always stay curious, and make sure that you find the right resources. If you want to talk to anybody about this, you can talk to your teachers. And if you feel that you're not getting the resources that you need, you can reach out to WRDC. They will also be able to help with any STEM-related career choices or options or thoughts that you have. And you can also reach out to me individually if you'd like to. So my last piece of advice for anybody who's looking at what career you want to do, I would advise you to be curious and ask the question, do you enjoy what you do? And ask it to anybody. Ask it to your teachers. I've been asked that question plenty of times, and then I have launched into my career path choice. And you can ask your doctor, do you enjoy what you do? Do you enjoy being a doctor? Or your pharmacist when you go with your parents to pick up medications? Do you enjoy being a pharmacist? And if you ever get a taxi with your mom or dad, do you enjoy being a taxi driver? Ask anybody and everybody, do you enjoy what you do? Because a lot of times people's career choices are stemming from their personal interests. And it's just a little bit of, you know, shaping for yourself to try and see what your personal interests could contribute to with your career choice.